Hey everybody, it's time to talk about one of the rarest adventures for Mutant Crawl Classics, apparently, Seeking the Posthumans. It's the 10th adventure. I'll be spoiling this, of course. And it's Level 0 Funnel. It's by Brendan LaSalle. And for some reason, this thing is so difficult to get a hold of. I was looking for this thing for months and months on eBay. Prices were crazy. And I got just very lucky and someone put it up on Facebook that they were selling, and I snagged it up because I was looking for it forever. It's a really cool adventure, I tell you what. I'll have a link down in the description if you want to pick up the PDF at least, and hopefully this thing will show up in one of the Tome of Adventures by Goodman Games. It's really neat. I dig it big time. It does some different things. It's got a striking cover here. I love the pinks. I love the two Seekers. This huge face is wild, and it's a very nasty creature. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Cool piece of art here that's going to depict something that's going to happen in the adventure, so you can show that to your players. I like that a lot. This poor lady here is really taking it, though. She's going to end up probably dead. So 12 to 24 zero-level Seekers, the more the better, I think. And so this starts out different. So the area that you're from is this Canyon City. It's right here in this great map right here. And so they've been isolated. Your village has been isolated from a lot of the dangers of Terra AD. And they are pretty much on the cusp of like a Bronze Age. A bizarre weather event happens and destroys much of the crops and their roxen, leaving the once thriving city-state unable to feed itself. So that's where the background's going to tell you all about this, okay? So it's been able to shelter them for a very long time, and their crops are good, their livestock's good. Everything's been going great for these people, and they decided they didn't need the rite of passage anymore. More people were born, and they've kind of become a little bit xenophobic. They see themselves as like deserving of all the success their city has attained, and so they kind of they abandon some stuff because they're living very isolated. Well, then all of a sudden, like it says here, then came the rain. And what it was this dark rain all of a sudden poured down, this like thick tar like rain. It just kept on going, and it ruined the fields with a black gunk. Their food stores were destroyed, animals were coated and dying of suffocation. The very old and the very young were sent out of the city, leaving the vast majority of the adults behind to try to save Canyon City. So the rain is actually the work of a two-tiered colony of surviving descendants of the ancients. One group of them, they live high above the planet in a cluster of low-orbit satellites. The remainder live in a tiny, well-defended city in a remote corner of Terra AD. This is very cool. And so, yeah, they actually did this experiment with this rain, and unfortunately, the destruction of Canyon City is an unintended consequence of the first test of its delivery system. But the black rain is actually a compound of genetically modified seed and hyper-concentrated fertilizer. It's actually good. But it kills a lot of the livestock, kills their plants, and so they don't do the rite of passage anymore, but their leader, an elderly mutant who was one of the last of the Seekers to do a rite of passage, Mellowark, he sends your Seeker team out to try to get help, to search for artifacts, whatever you can do to help the city. Well, someone else saw that too, and who that is a rogue minor artificial intelligence, max 16 characters. And he says, he was an AI that was ejected from an interactive entertainment sim, a video game in essence. It was enjoyed by the survivor colony, the survivor colony that's here on Terra AD, for making a game so difficult and annoying that it became all but unplayable. I think this is just hilarious. So this AI that's a video game AI, and what it wants to do is it wants to reload itself back into their systems. It's been kicked out, and it's going to help the Seeker teams achieve that. So that's how the kind of way it starts off, right? The adventure notes are this. Because of the way that you've lived, your characters are going to roll a D24 for artifact checks of tech level 1, complexity modifier 1 items. That's very cool. They've been taught to use common artifacts. They've learned how to identify, remove, and replace power cells at a young age. It says, likewise, their education includes communication and high newspeak. It's very neat. On the flip side of that, they're not so good at survival. And so you're going to roll a D16 until they reach first level. So that's just cool. And then some of the occupations here, since it's kind of like a new Bronze Age, you can actually be like a farmer, a builder, a toolmaker, and start with the appropriate equipment for those occupations. So it's just a neat way to start off, a little different. It's like a different starting zone, I guess you could say, for this adventure. So you're going to be sent off, and that's where you're going to be talking to Mellowark. He's going to tell you where you need to go, and it's all well and good. So you're going to have to leave the area, of course, and that's going to be interesting because you're going to have two different ways that you can go about it. And I like that. It's going to give groups two different choices, and it's going to be either they can take the trail to the canyon floor or try to go communicate with the village of the Wing People. This is a group that's splintered off from Canyon City, and they don't have really great relationship with Canyon City. So you can try to go to two, and they've got a gondola that will take you down to the floor, to the floor level. And so that's cool. Right off the bat, your group's going to get two choices. Which way do you want to go? So the Max 16 character is going to present itself to the player characters, as this character right here. And the way it does that is injects a bunch of energy into one of the character's face and brains, and it's going to hologram out of their eyes, kind of like R2-D2, and going to communicate with your group. Unfortunately, the person that he chooses randomly, actually lowest luck, I believe, is going to get their face kind of like nuked off, and like their eyes are going to melt and stuff. But he's going to explain a lot of stuff to them. And he's going to tell them that about what the black stuff is, and that it requires a growth agent to become an endless supply of cultivatable fruits, vegetables, and grains. So he's going to let them know, hey, look, this is actually going to be beneficial for you. But he needs help. He's been wrongly ejected from this place, these people. And he's going to blast into all the PC's minds the map and like a little glowing dots that's going to tell them where they need to go. I just think that's really cool of how this thing communicates with you. So that's how you're going to get the information from Max 16 and where you need to go. And where you're going to first need to go is this place over here called the Shaft. Yeah, it's funny. And so you got your two different ways, right? You can communicate with the village of the Wing People, and maybe you can get them to help you and take you down to the use the gondola to go down the canyon floor, maybe for a price. 2 Roxen is what they want, but that's pretty high price. You can try to sneak in, try to use the gondola yourself. So that's interesting. And if you do that and you go down, you'll be attacked. It shows you how to do that here with some successes, how to operate the controls of it. You'll be attacked by these invisible bats, and they're literally like transparent bats, so you can see right through them. It's very cool. It gives them a higher armor class. They've got an armor class of 16. It's just going to be neat to try to fight them when you attack them, and if you're able to kill them, you can kind of see them opaquely a little bit. But it's just neat. It's just a neat creature, and you can see that right here on the map. And if you go down the other way, towards the trail to the canyon floor, these things are going to attack you. They are called creeper thugs. They're like 8 feet tall, oversized plant semi-humanoids. They're 8 feet or taller. They have 4 arm-like tendrils, and they have 2 eye spots for densely bunched optical nerve endings. And they're just really big. One of them's got a laser pistol. So it's going to be a nasty weapon to be used against you, but if you can get it off one of those things, that's going to be great. So it's not too much about that, but each of these sections do a good job at explaining if you go this way, what's going to happen and what you'll be attacked by. So we've got travel and attacking, right? So the first place you're going to come to is that shaft, which is going to be our only dungeon crawl of this adventure, in essence. And so we've got another map here on this next page, and it's pretty neat, and it's going to show this big face, and that is actually a creature, and it's a terrible creature. It's called a Malatesta. But you're going to go down into this decaying Hall of the Ancients. Remember that Max Characters has imprinted that in your mind where you're supposed to go. And you're going to start exploring this place, and you're going to go down through the shaft from the surface, and then you're going to go around. It's a little bit slanted, this place is, and this creature here is just really nasty. For starters, it has 38 hit points and plus 5 to hit. Its armor class is only 9, so it's easy to hit. Hit it, of course. But the thing about this thing is that it's just an absolute crazy RNA freak. It has an endless appetite for flesh, a bottomless hunger. It can devour you. It does 1 point of damage, but it can devour you in its huge mouth. And it lets out this terrible scream whenever it's about to attack you. They dwell in cool places, and bright light and heat render them kind of sluggish. But the thing is, they can just sit there for pretty much forever and wait for a creature. They slide across the ground. It's just got a really cool, nasty design about it, which I really, really dig. But it's got the rules here in case it's going to devour you. You're going to search this area once you probably take that thing out. There's a caved-in passage over here where you'll find some items. You can get some things right here, and stuff maybe you can take back to your village once you get back there. You're going to explore around some more. You're going to come to a storefront and then a shop. And in essence, what this place was an old skateboard shop. As you're going to find a bunch of skateboards on the wall. That's pretty neat. You're also going to find this really cool tattoo machine that you can try to use. You're going to make a luck check here, and it could do damage to you, it could blow up, or it can give you some really cool tattoos. So that's going to be fun to try out and get tattoos on your character. One of those I really like is a giant stylized map, which gives a rough topography of the area within 100 miles of the canyon, complete with a compass rose and words of the ancients. It's just gonna be really neat to have that like on somebody's chest or back and like be looking at it to help you traverse the area. So that's just it's a neat table, a neat design. And there's another one of those things in the next room. And in the next room, the storage room, is gonna have a desk with a drawer, and that's gonna have your disc in it. And that disc is what Max 16 Characters needs. And he's gonna hold it up to the sky, and that's gonna create the second communication that you're going to have with Max 16 Characters. He's going to zap a bird and put the information in a bird's brain as when they hold up the disc, and it's going to tell you about the next place you have to go, and that's going to be obviously our next area. It's going to be over here. It says a harvest of dirt, so you're going to traverse this area back over here. And again, I just like how this map has got those guys and the bats, and so we've got our dungeon crawl. This thing's going to tell us what to do. At the end, it says you must hide in the dirt. He tells this to the characters. Follow the pattern, and you will be, but unfortunately, the image flickers out. So a little bit of something that the characters are going to have to try to figure out. You can be attacked by this terrible scorpion creature here, which if it stings you, little tiny scorpions will bust out of your skin. That's horrible, but sometimes they have like human faces, so that's just kind of creepy. It's a very nasty creature as well, with 29 hit points and +5 melee sting, or a claw with +4 melee. It's going to be pretty nasty. But yeah, DNA insertion is it's kind of its main attack as it implants into your body. And it's just kind of creepy. And it reminds me of kind of like gremlins or something, the way their skin bubbles up and these things pop out of it. And then you can get to a harvest of dirt. Now this is interesting because it's a little bit of a puzzle. It's very easy to do. But what's going to happen is you're going to watch, and this anti-grav crane is going to come up and scoop up piles of soil. You can see the dirt mounds. And so it's going to grab up this dirt, and it's going to fly off. So this is the way it looks. It's going to show you how it deposits and picks up stuff. And what you need to try to do is you need to hide inside this dirt. It shows the people here. It's going to come down and pick up you and the dirt. There's some information here about if you want to try to do more stuff with the crane, but then it's going to fly off. And it's really cool because all of a sudden it says, you're going to be dumped into this city of these this science research lab. And it's going to fly by, and it's going to show the characters a lot of the area. It says here in a really cool section that talks about thousands of miles of jungle, a few miles of ocean, a remote island, and then over a wall, a clear-cut killing field, a barrier of razor wire, a huge circle of solar panels, a crane-shaped hole, and then possibly a huge wall as you fly through it, as you're kind of looking through the dirt and the crane, until you get to an inhabited Earth city of the survivors, a sequestered metropolis of lab-grown, pure-strain humans that exist to support and do the biddings of the secret survivor colony that hangs in low Earth orbit over Terra AD. It's just, all of a sudden, the stakes and what you're seeing just go crazy. And so then we're going to be in this area here, and you can see this depiction here of the city. And it's going to come through, it's going to deposit the dirt with you in it, and it's going to take back off. And then you're going to see a lot of people walking on this walkway up here. There's glass everywhere. You can see this huge city with vehicles, going here and there. It's really neat. It's just a real kind of mind job, not only for your characters, but in the scope of what you've seen in other adventures. So you need to try to get to one of these terminals and put that disc in. That's what Max 16 Characters wants you to do. And there's a couple ways that you can go about do it. There is some security. They have some bots, some guardian bots are going to come out should an alarm get sprung on you. Some of these people can attack you. You can try to interact with them, these Earth City lab techs. Now, the thing about these people are they're pure strain humans, and they've been kind of sequestered here all their lives for generations and generations, and your bodies are going to be very strange to them. They've been told that they're the only people on this Earth, that the Earth is not, you can't live on this planet, and they're about to get kind of a wake-up call. So if you go to one of the terminals, you can roll on this list here, maybe to grab something that's you'll find on one of the terminal desks. You'll try to put that disk in there, and you'll have to figure out, how to deal with the Guardian bots, should they attack you, how to interact with these Earth City lab techs. It's all very neat, and it's just really cool to see how the scope of this game all of a sudden gets bigger. Then we're going to get to the end, and this is really where it shines. If you're able to put the disk in, he's going to sneak back into the simulation, max 16 characters will. And so he's going to upload to it, right? And then he's going to show up. He's going to appear above the seekers, thank them, gloat down on top of the text that I'm now free to terrorize them in their video games forever. And he's going to keep his promise. He's going to give names of all that patron AIs that sometimes help the humanoids of the wastelands and are beamed into the survivors' minds. This will help. And maybe you don't have to give them all of them. But he's going to thank you very much. And so that way, once you go into first level, you'll know about those different patron AIs if you want to join up with those. He's going to then reprogram the crane to take you back to your village and drop you off. And then we've got Aftermath, Homecoming and Beyond. This is where it's really, really cool. So it's going to talk about how you got back, and Millerwark's going to be voted city chief. He's going to declare that you as seekers, official heroes, saviors of the city, and that the rite of the passage will forevermore be observed in Canyon City. So he's going to start back up the rite of passage. He understands that now they've got to reach out to struggling tribes, invite people to join the Canyon City, and starting with, of course, the wing people. And then they've got he's got some neat ideas here about what's going to happen after that. It says here, or maybe it's going to change the ending. PCs might decide to raid the city rather than take the anti-grav crane and escape. They won't get very far. Maybe they'll be captured. Any captured PCs or otherwise left behind at Earth City are kept in a lab, and then they're going to be, of course, studied. But the thing is, the citizens of this Earth City are furious at having been lied to for generations. And what you could do is you could actually start a thing where they rebel against, the city. And the anger is going to, start to mount up. With just their brief interaction with the Seekers could bring, of course, contact with maybe bacterial organisms from the wasteland that their immune systems are no good at. So it says within days, a mutant virus that the outside world has lived with for untold generations sweeps through the city, and it could kill all these people. Or it says any of the Seekers, of course, could be trapped in this empty city, but it's full of robots and AIs. So that's an interesting way to do it. And then there's another way. It says the anger of Earth City survivors at having been deceived for so long by their masters in the orbiting colony becomes a full rebellion. The city riots, individuals attempting to leave the city for the first time, explore the world, mad with their first heady taste of freedom. It's just neat that what can happen with this place that you found and how they're going to interact and react to you as player characters. Now, the hidden masters of the orbital survivor colony are going to learn the hard lesson. They're going to lose Earth City more than likely. It's a terrible blow. This is, again, optional stuff that you could throw into the end of your game. But they're going to realize that, hey, we've taken these guys for granted, these wasteland humanoids and stuff, and we just thought they were savages, but they're actually quite cunning, resilient, and tough. It says the orbital survivors must either enlist these humanoids as their new servants in their quest to restore the world, or they must destroy every last one. Very cool. This last paragraph is a repeat paragraph from a couple pages behind. It's the only error that I saw in this adventure. So I dig it. I think it's really cool. I love this whole thing about this city, the ramifications of you showing up there. You as a judge, what you want to do with it. If you want to have it be a virus that kills them all, and you need to try to get out as seekers, try to survive past all these robots and AI. Or if you want it to be a rebellion and these people break out, maybe they are able to, endure some of the strange, bacterial organisms. It's just neat. It's just a very neat ending to this adventure with a couple of different things you can do that could really change up the way that your campaign for Mutant Crawl Classics goes. So there it is, Seeking the Posthumans. Absolutely an awesome adventure. One of the coolest adventures so far, I think, that I've read for it. It's just neat. I just really, really dig. I like the AI. I like the different paths you can go. It's not extremely big. You've got some cool dungeon crawl. You've got skateboarders outfits. And I even say that if you've dressed in like as a skateboarder, they may think that the Earth City people may think that you're just like rebellious teens or something like that. But then, of course, they'll kind of look at you a little bit more and be like, oh, okay, you're a horrible mutant. So I just really dig how this adventure flows, and the ramifications at the end of it with this city are just so cool, and I think can lead to some really cool adventures after this. So there it is, Seeking the Posthumans. As always, thank you everyone for watching. Stay tuned to the next video.